I forget how to do this. Oh my gosh, it's been so long. But I had some huge life news I wanted to share with anybody who still happens to be watching or interested in me, Nova, anybody. I hope you guys are doing well. Let me know what's up in your lives. I know it's been a long time. I've missed doing YouTube, but some of you might know that I've had a lot happen in the last year or so. It's really nice to see you guys. I've missed you. I've missed these familiar names and faces. It's really good to see you. Nova's very excited. She has been doing her own thing the whole day, and for some reason, she just seems to know every time I stream, and she always wants to be nearby. I'm doing really well, Generation Productions. Thank you for asking. How are you guys doing? I know it's been a doozy of a last few years, regardless of where everybody comes from and what their lifestyle is. I think everybody can probably agree. The last, I don't know, decade has been a doozy. Let's just say that. Still win. Yes, Nova is very active today. Nova turned 11 on May the 4th. Can you believe it? I think she still looks like a little kitten. Maybe that's because I'm her mom, but she, to me, looks like a little kitten. And it just feels like just yesterday that I got her. Sorry for the late notice on the stream. I haven't, Nova's really going crazy right now. Nova, you're so happy. I did not think I was going to stream today. I did not think I was going to stream at all anytime soon, but I don't know. Things conspired to get me to feel like, let me try this. Let me try this again. It's been a long time. I miss doing it. I miss connecting with you guys. It's been a really long time and a lot has happened. So I'm sure the same thing is going for you guys. And I just thought it might be nice to put myself out there again. As hard as it is for me to put myself out there, I don't know, I feel like I say this all the time, but I've never really felt like a YouTuber. I just feel like someone that comes online once in a while and wants to connect, and then I kind of run away and do my own thing. So I'm really grateful for those of you who understand and appreciate that and still show up all these years later, even though I'm I don't know, probably too introverted to be on YouTube, to be honest, sometimes. Hanging in there each day, I'm grateful for. Stillwind 87. Good for you. I think that is the best possible attitude to have, is an attitude of gratitude. It makes the biggest difference in my life, at least. I know I feel so much happier when I can actually find things to be grateful for, and I feel more in control and empowered in my life when I actually lean into the things that I am thankful for. And the people I notice that are most unhappy are usually people that can't find that gratitude. And thank you, Generation Productions, for saying that. No, you're okay, Kelly. To be fair, the way you do YouTube is a good way to do it in that way. Don't get caught up in all the YouTube drama crud. That's true. Yeah, that's one thing I can safely say about myself, is that I don't really get involved in drama of any kind in life. So especially with YouTube, it's nice to stay out of it and not have to get involved. I think just being able to be an observer of it and not getting tied into it emotionally or mentally saves me a lot of emotional and energetic bandwidth. I'll say that much. Soul Assassin says hi to Nova. Yeah, she's really with us today. I'm really happy to see that she's with us. Oh, Alex. Oh my gosh. Hi. Oh, Alex, I've missed you. It's good to see you. Everybody, please check out AD Edits channel. Alex is a phenomenal editor, and he puts together beautiful edits of cinematic masterpieces. Let's just put it that way. He's excellent. He's wonderful. He's humble and truly one of the kindest people I've met through my entire YouTube journey over the past decade or so. One of the good ones, one of the great people out there that really deserves all the success in the world. Alex, you know I mean it, and I'm very proud of you. YouTube is a crazy thing. It's very surreal. I started YouTube, I want to say, like, I don't know how long ago was it that I made my first actual video that wasn't like a pet or an animal that I posted, anywhere from like 7 to 10 years ago, I guess. And it's been a journey. I think I started kind of on my own and just wanted to talk about Star Wars and how disillusioned I was by the new Star Wars franchise. And then I kind of ended up making friends with some bigger YouTubers and streaming and co-streaming and doing stuff like that. And I think I felt like it got too big for me, and it was really fun for a while, but I also got really overwhelmed and didn't feel like I could keep up with it. And also I kind of just fell into that same kind of trap that I think a lot of people who start YouTube channels do, where you're doing it for fun and then all of a sudden you realize a lot of people are watching, and people set up expectations, they build up their expectations, and then before I knew it, I was like too scared to make videos and too scared to stream, because I guess I had this thing where I was just worried that I was always going to disappoint people. And it's been a huge journey to wrap my head around, because I want to come back to YouTube, but I want to do it for me and enjoy it. And I still want to connect with people, but I think I got way too in my head about what it needed to be and who I needed to be, and I kind of lost sight of myself, being able to be myself online, if that makes sense. Because I am definitely more of an introverted person, and I love the connections that I have in my life, but I don't typically put a lot of, like, myself out there in the world other than through YouTube right now. So this is, like, the biggest way that I connect with people other than in-person stuff, but I think it just got so big, it felt overwhelming in my head, mentally at least. Obviously, I've never been a big YouTuber. I just felt like it felt bigger than I wanted it to be, and yeah, I guess I got stage fright. I still have stage fright, if you can't tell. I'm definitely still awkward, but yeah, I think YouTube has become this place, and I've always said this, I consume more YouTube than I actually create. I watch a lot of YouTube. I'd love to create more, but I think I'm still getting my bearings. I know it's weird to say after I have as many years as I've had an active channel, but I do still feel like I'm working on how to be my best self on here and not, like, I don't do sponsorships, obviously. I don't just churn content out. I'm not a reaction channel. I'm not someone that's just gonna make a video every week or every day. Oh my gosh, I don't know how people do that. I'm more limited in how I guess I approach it, and I don't know. I know I've seen the whole landscape of YouTube change so much to where I think a lot of people are looking for, like, that huge audience or that viral video or viral succession of videos where there just feels like there's this, like, emptiness, I guess I want to say. And I don't know, like, it just feels more like content than ever. And I miss the days where YouTube just felt like an extension of ourselves and our interests and who we are. And I still try to watch people like that and channels like that when I can. And YouTube can be really a helpful tool. You can learn how to do anything on YouTube. I've learned how to do so many things just through watching YouTube videos. But my favorite thing as a creator has been connecting with you guys. Oh, Bone says I first saw you on John Talk's channel. Oh, John, I wish he would start streaming again too. I really liked some of he had some really cool thoughts. He was a deep thinker and he had some really cool things to say. But I think he just does, like, edited videos now, like funny edits and stuff. But yeah, he was a fun person to stream with. He was really good at conversation, which obviously when you're streaming with someone is always wonderful, or just being friends with someone, talking to someone in general. Oh, Batman. It's 12:34 a.m. here, but I saw a notification and just came to say hi. Love you. Miss you so much and hope to see you again soon. Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. I have to go. I have to work in the morning. Bye. Greetings to everyone. Thank you, Batman. And just like the real Batman, he was out. He was out in a moment. George Lucas. George Lucas. Oh, YouTube can be a crazy place, but a lot of cool people here, says Soul Assassin. Oh, you guys are awesome. Oh, it's good to see you, Dimaginite. Get everybody check out Dimaginite's channel too. I know he's still streaming. He's still putting stuff out there. Gotta love the people that keep it going, man. It's so awesome. I'm not one of those people, but I'm hoping to try one day, maybe in this next chapter. Oh, Kermit Frog says, I have a nephew since last time I have seen you. He was born on Christmas Eve. So fun. I barely see him in person. Oh, that's beautiful, Kermit Frog. Congratulations on your nephew. That's really awesome. But yeah, YouTube is it's an interesting thing. And if any of you have channels or have thought about creating channels, I really do encourage you to keep going or to start one. If there's anything you want to put out there, because it is really cathartic and really beautiful to have, like, another space, like a different place outside of your mind to kind of share your thoughts and your talents or your hobbies or whatever it is. I'm trying to think of, like, the most obscure channel I've ever watched. I watched a channel where a guy was just, like, teaching people how to, I used to find, like, caterpillars on the street sometimes, and I would always take them home to try to, like, help them, monarchs specifically, because I know they're endangered. So I try to bring monarchs home and let them live. So there were, like, steps involved in the process. You need to get, like, a marigold plant. You need to make sure that the chrysalis is being held up correctly. So I just watched this whole guy with just, like, a channel about butterflies and caterpillars and how to take care of them and raise them. I mean, I learned how to do that. There's so many. I once had, like, a toothache, and I learned how to fix my toothache from this guy, and his whole channel is just, like, hobby crafts and stuff. So you can make a channel, you can make a video about anything you want. I think people are really daunted by it because it seems so overwhelming and like there's too much content now, but I feel like this is the best time to do it because you can put yourself out there, and I don't know, I miss it. Okay, Generation Productions has a Star Wars question. Midichlorians, are all people born with them? And if so, did that mean that anyone could become a Jedi if they just have midichlorians? So I know this is a hot take, but like I'm not like a midichlorian fan anymore. I used to just go with it and be like, you know what? Yeah, midichlorians, whatever. Now I'm kind of like in the camp of I'm going to choose my own canon because I so much of the new Star Wars that's come out, I'm just like, this is Star Wars fatigue. I'm only thinking about the original trilogy at this point in my life. I don't have the bandwidth. I don't have the emotional resolve to deal with all the new Star Wars stuff, including even the prequels. I'm like, the lore of that is just it's so much. So I am not the person to ask about midichlorians. But I would assume you're born with them. I mean, genetically speaking, I think it's kind of like how we have genetics and we have epigenetics, and epigenetics can be turned on or off, but genetics are kind of set. So, like, whatever genetics you're born with, those are pretty set. But epigenetics, I would assume that midichlorians are more of like a genetic standard. So, you're born with as many as you're going to have, but maybe your epigenetic thing is like whether or not you engage with them and you can make them stronger or weaker. I don't really know. Honestly, I don't know. We need to get a Star Wars geneticist on here. Ooh, 80 edits. This is a good. Okay, interesting. Paradigm is shifting in terms of market sentiment for that churn and burn style of videos. I think we're moving toward the more genuine vibes and raw, unedited content, i.e., you. Oh my gosh, Alex, thank you for saying that. That's really inspiring. And I wasn't sure if I was in my own head about this, but I thought I was noticing that sometime around last year. I think I started noticing just more people being people on YouTube. And that's kind of how I want to be. I've never been attracted to the like YouTube lifestyle or I guess like, when you break it down, the influencer lifestyle. Like it just feels like too much. Like you need to create content, you need to put stuff out there, churn and burn, like you say, Alex. Like that to me sounds so exhausting. And for me, like it's not. I know for these people, they're making their living on here, and that's great for them, but to me that just seems so exhausting. Like for me it's not even worth it wouldn't be worth it just to drain myself and to always have to put myself out there and almost be that wouldn't be authentic to who I am, because I'm not someone that just like I can't just like put stuff out there. I have to think things through, feel things through, more importantly. So I am not someone that can just get content out. It's just not how my life works. It's not how I work. Oh, I love that, Ryan Dyer. Plur, peace, love, unity, respect. That's beautiful. Thank you, Alex. I really appreciate that. Keeping you because that's unique. I love that. Ooh, Ryan, someone told you to create content on TikTok. Well, I mean, if anything's popular, it's TikTok. I still have never been on TikTok, or I don't want to, simply because I've heard of how like addictive and I think I don't ever want to pick up a habit in my life that I could possibly become addicted to in an unhealthy manner. So I'm just not even going to bother. I'm not even going to go on there, but I'm sure there's amazing stuff. And if you want to create a channel on there, if that's what it's called, I say go for it. I think if you're creating more than you're consuming, I think that's a healthy balance. I think when people go on to something purely to consume and they're not getting any kind of, I don't know what you would call it, like reciprocal energy or reciprocal data, reciprocal ability to improve your life or feel like a sense of community or whatever it is that people can get from YouTube or TikTok or anything. I think that's where like the danger zone is. You don't want to, at least for me, whenever I feel like I'm consuming more than I'm creating, I feel like there's something missing, or there's an imbalance. So yeah, TikTok for me, if I were to log in there and just watch other people all the time, I don't think I could do that. What I like about YouTube is you can put a video on, kind of have it in the background, or be more actively engaged in it, like a live stream where you're commenting, but it's active, it's action based. Like I can put a video on teaching me how to do something, or putting music on to get me in the right kind of flow for some kind of task I want to do. Like if I'm decluttering or cleaning my closet or something, I can put music on, or I can put a podcast on, learn something new, or change the energy of the room that I'm cleaning, whatever it is, through music. It's just, it feels active, it feels productive, it feels like you get something back. But I think the nature of having a phone and like scrolling, that's why I'm not on Instagram. or typing a lot, getting angry, getting upset, like Reddit, Twitter, all of those places just feel like they're taking from people, even though I think people think that they're and this is coming from someone I used to go on Reddit all the time and like read people's comments, but I think I just realized this stuff is actually taking from me more than it's giving back. I wasn't really learning enough from it to make it a valid source of my time and energy anymore. Anyway, long way of saying if you want to create a TikTok channel, I say go for it, but be someone who creates. I think if you can be someone who creates on there, that's great. If you can be a creative, that's great. But TikTok freaks me out, but who knows? Maybe I'm looking at it the wrong way. The Macy, you changed your name. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Kelly Bunny Nova, missed you. Oh, it's really sweet to see you, Macy. Macy is one of the most awesome people. Thank you so much, Macy. It's awesome seeing you. I've missed you. And again, Dimaj, I'm not sure if I thanked you for your super chat. Thank you so much for your super chat too from Dimaj and Macy. You guys are awesome. Hi, Rob officially. JB, it's great seeing you. Oh my gosh, Kermit Frog works at a rabbit sanctuary. That's beautiful. I love rabbits. Obviously, I love rabbits. My name is Jedi Bunny. Nova left, says Macy. She's somewhere nearby. I don't know where she went, but she's always nearby. You know. Ryan Dyer says TikTok similar to YouTube in a lot of ways. World of Swap Shop. Oh my gosh, it's Demon Side. Demon Side Synthwave. I still can't. After all these years, I still can't pronounce your name correctly. I'm sorry. Demon Scythe Synthwave. Change your handle to something more pronounceable. World of Swap Shop. I love the name. Cool new name. It's great seeing you again. Wow, so many familiar faces. This is great. Another Star Wars question then, Jedi Bunny, about lightsabers. If kyber crystals don't generate the power in the blade, just the color and focus of the blade, then where does the power of the blade come from? I don't know. Laser technology? I'm really not sure. I was always the assumption that kyber crystals had something to do with at least some of I know it was more about the color, but I don't know. You stumped me with that one. See, you stumped me with that one. That's one I would actually want to know even more so than midichlorians. Do you have the answer? Are you asking this to stump me, or are you asking because you think I would know? Because I don't know the answer to that. I wish I did. Kermit Frog, I have not watched Andor, but that of all of the different new Star Wars stuff out there, that is the one that I do actually want to see when I can, when I have time to watch it, just because I've heard really good things about it. And you know what? I think I watched the first couple episodes, but I lost my momentum because I was watching something else at the time. And they were excellent. I have to say they were very well done, especially for like any of the new Star Wars stuff. I was impressed, but I honestly, I fell off and I stopped watching, but I would probably pick that one up again. If I was to watch any of the new Star Wars stuff, it would be Andor. Alex says, please watch Andor. Alex is in the process of making an edit, so you have to watch it before. I think it's a long series. How many seasons are there now? 2? It might take me some time. Again, guys, check out Alex's channel. Check out Dimajinai's channel too. They both talk about Star Wars. Well, Alex does amazing edits of Star Wars and other great film and television, and Dimajinai talks about Star Wars and lots of other pop culture stuff. So check them out. So he knows the answer to the sabers. The proto saber actually had a battery pack. It was the Sith that streamlined the saber to its modern weapon. That is fascinating. Wow. Had a battery pack. Proto saber had a battery pack. It was a Sith that streamlined the saber to its modern weapon. Fascinating. That's cool. See, we can't blame the Sith for everything bad. They had some good innovations there too. Where would we be without the Sith? The mace. Oh, Macy, I love that you know this. This is some deep lore. In the Alan Dean Foster Nova, Splinter of the Nova, got my cat on my mind, novel, Splinter of the Mind's Eye, a massive kyber crystal was found on a remote planet and could be used to superpower the Force one could wield. Luke healed wounds on Leia. I think I remember hearing about that from that book, which I don't think I ever read that one, but I think I remember people talking about that. That's very cool. World of Swap Shop says, by the way, started a new channel. It's an alternative sequel trilogy in the form of a full cast audio drama. That's awesome. Well, everybody go check out that. You can drop a link. I think you could drop a link in chat still, right? Unless YouTube's changed more than I thought it did. Alex, that's so cool. I'm doing a documentary. Alex, that's awesome. So Alex is doing a documentary about Alan, the author of Splinter of the Mind's Eye. He really helped George create the world people don't realize. Oh, that is fascinating. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I will definitely be watching that. I cannot wait. That is very cool. Okay, guys. So now it's time for the news. All right. I'm nervous. Why am I nervous? This is crazy. Okay. So I announced in my last video, which is called how to stay how to blah, 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 how to stay sane in dehumanizing times. I announced towards the end of that video, I know not everybody watched it, that I was pregnant, and I recorded that video obviously last year, and I have since had my little Padawan baby. I had a little girl. She's the light of my life. She has completely changed my life. She's completely changed everything. She's in the other room right now. My husband is currently taking care of her very generously to give me some time to do this. I wanted to connect with you guys because it's been so long. And obviously, that's huge life news. And as I'm not a big YouTuber and I'm not big into creating content all the time, I didn't really feel like doing like a pregnancy announcement or a baby announcement or anything like that. So I wanted to share it here, especially because a few people brought it up. Thank you guys so much for the congratulations. That's so sweet. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it's amazing. I feel completely different. I feel like I've walked into another dimension and the door closed behind me, as what one of my friends put it, who has two daughters of her own. And I'm still the same Kelly, but I feel completely different too. It's just opened up a whole different video game level to work on, and it's fascinating and beautiful and moving and exhausting and overwhelming and just a total paradigm shift. And I'm really, really happy. And I wanted to start a family for a long time, and it was the right time. And I'm just so happy. So Ryan Dyer, I don't even remember. Thank you so much, Dimaj. And Ryan Dyer said, I don't even remember when Clay got married. Was it? I don't really like announce. I didn't even tell most of my friends when I got married. We got married. My now husband and I have been together 13 years. We got engaged, I don't know, several years ago. I think we got married 2 years ago now, in a courthouse wedding. We didn't even have any guests. Like, we were both quite introverted, especially me. And after my mom passed away a few years ago, I couldn't imagine having a wedding and not having my mom there. So it was very low key, but our love is very real. We met in a philosophy class, actually, in university almost 20 years ago now. So I've known him a long time. 20 years, does that make sense? No, it can't be 20, almost 20 years. It's got to be like, I don't know how many years it's been since I've been a freshman in college. I'm bad at math, if any of you guys know me. I think I was 19 when I met him. But yeah, it's been a long time. And now we have a baby, and it's huge. It's crazy. But yeah, I'm not a big announcement person. I'm not a big social media person. And I haven't even told everyone in my life yet, in my family and my friends. I mean, most of my family know, I think. And most of my close friends know. But yeah, I'm not like a big I had a baby person. So here I am telling you that I have a baby. I had a baby, have a baby. She's amazing. Her name is Maya, and her middle name, she's named after my mom. She's perfect, and I love her so much. And yeah, so there's that news. It's a pretty big deal. Very exciting. Thank you guys so much for all the beautiful comments. Yeah, that's true, Kermit. I'm not the same person, actually. Not fully, not anymore. That's true. It's crazy. Any of you who are parents or want to become parents, it's probably like the first thing that I realize is that, wow, the whole world is different now. Like, everything is different. I'm different. The world looks different. Everything's the same, but somehow there's just like a different cast on everything, just a different prism to it. You see everything through, now I have this other being to protect and take care of and nurture and love, and the rest of my life she's the main character of my life now. It's crazy. You're not the main character of your own life anymore when you have a child. And I think for me, it's been a beautiful, humbling thing, and I'm really happy about it. It's very cool. Yeah, that's very true. I've noticed now I get it differently. I think before I got pregnant, before I had a baby, I didn't know like what it felt like. I obviously was a teacher for many years, and I love kids, and I grew up working with kids. I grew up feeling very connected with kids, feeling connected to my own inner child, but I never knew what it was actually like to be a parent. It is totally different. It is, wow. Krista Joe, what's her favorite foods? Are you asking about my baby? Only drinks milk right now. She's not ready for food yet. She's only 2 months old. So she's just a milk baby for now. I'm not sure what her favorite foods will be. When I was pregnant, I was craving a lot of Japanese food for whatever reason, and for some reason I just wanted to to watch like Japanese content on YouTube. I went down like a huge rabbit hole and just watched like lots of stuff about Japan, ate Japanese food for every day. So I don't know what that has to do. Maybe she's going to love Japanese food. Maybe that's what that means. I don't know. Ryan Dyer asked if I take my daughter with me when I exercise. I take her for a walk every day. Up until a few days ago, I didn't have a stroller. So we were taking her and I had this sling that we had. And so I would like have her in my arm like this and walking. And now we have a stroller so we can take her out on walks. We're going to try to do 2 walks a day, one in the morning and one in the evening if we can. But when I do my exercise at home, I usually just do my exercises over here. And then I have her sitting like in this divot on the couch so she can kind of just hang out where she has a little bouncer she can bounce in. But yeah, exercise, any of you who know me know that I love just doing regular movement, keeping the chi flowing, so to speak. I'm going to try to incorporate that into my baby's life as much as possible so she always feels connected to her body and nature, and she knows that her energy comes from within, all that important stuff. My cat, Nova, is amazing. I was so scared because I had several people tell me Nova was going to be scared of the baby because apparently when babies cry, cats are scared. From the moment we brought her home, Maya home, Nova has been glued to not so much Maya, but she comes near me all the time when Maya's with me. So I don't think she fully grasps who the baby is yet, but she's accepted her as part of the home, and she still cuddles with me. Nova, the cat, still cuddles with me all the time, cuddles with me every night, comes to bed with me, hangs out with me on the couch when I'm here. She's been amazing with the baby. So we're very happy about that because I was worried that she was going to be scared, like hiding in the other room. I think part of it is that I'm living in we have like 600 square feet. The cat doesn't really have anywhere to go other than to just stare at me from the other side of the room, essentially. So she chooses to cuddle, which is really great. She's really happy. Oh my gosh, Anna, that Star Wars girl has a daughter too. That's beautiful. Oh my gosh, I have to check that out. I did not know that. Wow, I have not been keeping up with any YouTube news. That's really exciting. I'm so happy for her. Wow, that's cool. Oh, that's really cool. Good for her. Wow. Krista Joe, thank you. Make sure you write it all down. Oh my God, I know I need to write it down. I've been procrastinating writing it. I've been writing a few things here and there when I can, but it's crazy the amount of time you think you have that you just don't have anymore when you have a newborn, because it's like round the clock care. She always needs something. And when I do put her down for a nap, sometimes I forget to eat, even though you guys know I'm hungry all the time. It's like sometimes I just don't have the energy to keep up. I need to eat. I need to brush my hair, like all the things that I used to take for granted. It's like, wow, I don't always have the time and the energy, which is another big reason I haven't been posting on YouTube or Ko-fi, is that my brain just feels so segmented. And the biggest portion of my brain is just on my baby now and making sure she's safe and healthy and taken care of. So it's a wild transition. And I'm hoping once she and I get more used to her being here, that I'll have more time to kind of oh yeah, that's right, I can pick up this hobby and this again, and maybe create some videos or stream again once in a while, because honestly, it took so much. It just reassembles your entire life. It's like your life is like a puzzle that you've kind of started putting together at a certain point, and then all the pieces just fly away, and you kind of know where everything's supposed to fit because you've started the puzzle already, but the puzzle is just in disarray, and some pieces fell under the floorboard, and some pieces fell under the chair, and you have to collect them all again, even though you know what they are in your head. It's hard to kind of put them back together. I really like that way of explaining it. It's very true for me, at least. People always say that pregnant women get strange cravings. I mean, I've always loved Japanese food, to be fair, and Japanese food is right up my alley. So I think it was just an extension and exaggeration of that for me. Kermit Frog. I didn't want to name her. So when I was younger and I was super into Star Wars, I thought about, I want to have if I ever have a daughter, I'm gonna name her Leia, and if I ever have a son, I'm gonna name him Luke. But I do think I've come a little bit further since then. And just, I don't define myself by Star Wars as much as I used to. So it didn't feel right. When I heard the name Maya, I heard it many, many years ago in one of my favorite shows. And it wasn't to do with the character so much as the name itself just resonated with me. And what it means, you can look it up if you want to. But I really liked the Sanskrit interpretation and meaning, dreams, reality, inception of existence, that kind of thing, without getting too deep into it. I just went with the thing that resonated most with with me. And it was important that she have my mom's name as her middle name to honor my mom who passed away. And I didn't feel like it fit as much with the name Leia anyway. But it's funny, I had a list of baby names on my phone for years that I would just add to once in a while because I knew I always wanted a baby. Leia was on the list, but I did not go with Leia. And also I just feel like there's so many Leias out there now, Leias and Leas, and it just didn't resonate with me anymore the way it used to when I was a diehard Star Wars fan. And I still love Star Wars, but it's not as defining a part of my life as it used to be. Maximus Payne says, are you going to teach her the ways of the Force? The dark side is stronger. I don't know if I agree about the dark side. I mean, I do think it's stronger if people let it be stronger. Just like negativity and fear is stronger of an emotion to feel. But I think more powerful is when we are able to transmute that fear into something positive for ourselves. So I'm gonna be a light side person with Maya as much as I can. But hey, if she turns to the dark side and that's her choice, I will do my best to support her in the healthiest ways possible. So I do not have a PO box, and I do not want a PO box. No offense to anyone who's ever wanted to send me stuff. I'm a minimalist. I don't have a lot of space, but I so appreciate when people want to send me things. And also PO boxes are expensive. I've looked into them in the area, and I just do not have the finances for that right now. I got to prioritize my baby and taking care of her. So having a PO box for honestly hundreds of dollars a year at least just doesn't make sense for me right now. I have to really hunker down and make sure that I'm being smart with my budget. But thank you so much for thinking of me and wanting to send me something. That's really beautiful and sweet. It's a beautiful gesture. Wow, not a dad, but I'm an uncle and godfather. My youngest goddaughter, I pretty much raised for the first years of her life. By the time she was 3, she was training with me like a true scion. Oh, that's awesome. I love that. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Dimajane, for your super chat and for sharing that. That's beautiful to hear. Wow, Andrew says, Drunk 3PO also stopped making Star Wars vids. The energy surrounding Disney Star Wars is so draining. I stay away from that now too. Perfectly said. I could not say it better myself. That's exactly the spot I got to. And I think that's part of the reason I kind of like arrested. I couldn't cognitively wrap my head around how to keep creating for this channel, because I would get people writing all the time like, are you going to talk about Star Wars? Talk about Star Wars. Talk about Star Wars. And I realized my name is Jedi Bunny, so partially I set myself up for that. Maybe I'll change it one day to stop confusing people. I will always love the original trilogy, and I'll always have a special place in my heart for Star Wars lore in general. I just think it's such a beautiful concept and story. And there's so much beautiful philosophy and human psychology in it. But I think when Disney really took over and I saw what a content and monetary machine Star Wars became for this huge conglomerate that is Disney, I was just completely disillusioned with it. And I'm not someone like, I can't watch content all the time. I can't just keep up with something all the time if I'm not truly enjoying it and getting something out of it meaningful. It doesn't have to be the most intellectual property ever, like intellectual property. It doesn't like meaning like it doesn't have to be the most intelligently made, finely crafted film or television for me to enjoy it, but it does need to be either entertaining, intelligent, meaningful, or give me something. And I just wasn't feeling that from the new Star Wars. It just didn't feel magnetic to me anymore. If anything, it started feeling like the opposite. It started feeling repulsive. Like there was a repulsion to me around the new Star Wars just because of I could just see the dollar signs in like shareholders' eyes about getting this huge property to just churn out for people and keep it going and bring in the younger audiences so that they can grow up with it and be addicted to it and we can keep selling stuff. It just felt very consumeristic at that point. It didn't feel like meaningful to me anymore. I don't know. I just feel like I've completely shifted how I view everything now. So it's an exciting time. It's a daunting time for sure. And I don't know how much I'm going to keep up with YouTube. I hope that I do. But at the same time, I'm just glad that I put anything out there in the first place. But I said this in my previous video. I always want YouTube to feel like a reflection of me, my mind, how I'm feeling, how I'm perceiving the world, because there's so much going on at any given time. And this is something that I feel so important, like so passionately about this. We choose our focus in life. We choose how we feel, really, at the end of the day. I know there are people that would say there's this element of life happens to you and you can't control that. But I believe that the only control we truly have is how we perceive things and what happens in our mind. And for me, I felt very disempowered for a lot of my life because I was feeling like life was happening to me instead of realizing that life was happening for me, as cheesy as that sounds. But not just that, but that I wasn't looking at life through the lens that I was choosing. I was looking at it through a lens that I was programmed to see it through the way I was parented, through the way the media instructs us to view things, the way wherever we grow up, our local community instructs us to view things. Like, there are so many things that factor into how we view the world and reality that we didn't even choose how we view it. Becoming conscious of how I was viewing life and what was happening in the world is what I feel freed me to just like be more productive, be more constructive about my own life, about my own world, about my own vision, because everything's truly mental. I've been really struggling with work-life balance. How do you deal with that? I think honestly, at the end of the day, that is entirely up to you. I understand that time, the construct of time, is something we really don't have a lot of control over, but what we allocate our time to is what we have control over. So I would say with work-life balance, in the time that you're not working, what are you doing? Because for me, if I'm not working and I'm not doing something for myself that actually feeds my life, feeds my soul, makes me feel healthier, better, more connected, that's time wasted. So I think if you're using your time well and richly and getting the most out of the time that you're not working, that's a way to prioritize your actual life, your actual self. And I think one of the number one things that I would recommend that I do is I would not spend too much time on social media. If it's cutting out one platform, two platforms, I used to go on Reddit a lot. I used to go on Instagram quite often. This was years ago. I haven't been active on Instagram in years. I think I've posted like twice on Instagram in the last 4 years, maybe. So I would be very mindful of what it is that you're doing with that free time. And then when you are at work, I don't know what you do. I know different types of work are very consuming. Like if you're doing a trade and you're very hands-on, if you're doing like anything with machinery or plumbing or anything where you have to be fully like engaged and present with your work and hands-on, like obviously that's different. But if you're in more of like a creative job or a tech job and you do have like little free moments throughout your work, like maybe there are ways to give back to yourself while you're on the clock, so to speak. But I understand that not all jobs allow for that, and it's tricky when you have different work. But for me, the work-life balance is incredibly important, because if you're working for such a huge portion of your life and you're not enjoying your life to the fullest extent, then what is the saying? You're living to work instead of working to live, or working. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's really up to you though. I think at the end of the day, how you spend your time and how you use your time, because I think people don't realize we use a lot, especially these days with technology as ubiquitous as it is, with our cell phones on us at all times. I don't think people realize how much time is wasted being on their phones. Like when I walk around the neighborhood, I see so many people just staring at their phones. And I'm sure if you were to ask those people, what did you do with your free time? They'd say, I went on a walk. But really, like, they were out walking, but they were on their phones. So they weren't even getting the full extent of the walk. With a walk outdoors, you can connect with nature. You get by hemispheric stimulation, which means like you're moving your body in a bilateral motion, which helps ignite different parts of your brain. You can look at the birds, you can observe things. Feeling connected to nature grounds us. Like there's so many things you can get from a walk, but if you're on your phone, you're robbing yourself of all of those benefits. Like, yeah, you moved your body, you got your 8,000 steps or whatever that the CDC recommends, or like, yeah, you got your 8,000 steps, but you didn't get the cognitive benefits. You didn't get the emotional, or even if you're a spiritual person, like for me, I'm not religious per se, but I consider myself quite spiritual, to where I connect very deeply with nature. When I'm outdoors, I feel a sense of groundedness. Like nature is like my church. So I would be robbing myself of that experience if I were to stare. I don't even bring my cell phone when I go on walks, unless I'm by myself. If I'm by myself and in an area that I don't feel completely safe in, I'll bring my phone just in case. But when I'm just somewhere where I know it's going to be reasonably safe, unplug, just even if it's for 10, 20 minutes, an hour, you can unplug and just be with yourself. So when you are at work and when you are home or when you're driving, what can you give yourself? What can you do? Can you listen to a podcast about something that you really wanted to learn about? Can you just rest? Like, I remember reading years ago that it's different for men and women, but for men, they're so programmed to think that they need to be doing something all the time that they feel a lot of shame for resting. And I found that really sad, because when I read further, I learned that men actually become more productive when they can give themselves true rest, like doing nothing, no phone, just resting, just lay down on the couch and like rest, just take a nap or just do nothing for a little bit. I just think that's so powerful. I think every human does well with that, right? I think we all need to rest. When you look at any animal in nature, every animal rests at some point. Most animals even nap at some point, except a lot of humans don't give ourselves that. So anyway, that was a long tangent. Oh, I'm probably way behind on the chat now. Oh, Catherine. Hi, Catherine. Guys, go check out Catherine's channel now. She creates cool content. She streams. She creates cool content. Kat, I saw that you've been streaming painting streams lately. I've not been able to catch one, but I saw your thumbnails and they're so beautiful. Please check out her channel. I have her like highlighted here right now. She creates really beautiful stuff and beautiful painting streams, music. Kat, I know you cover like Star Wars. She watches stuff. She does reactions. Please check her out. She's a really cool person. I will always shout out the cool people here because they deserve it. You're welcome. Yeah, if you can give me more context to your question, I would love to riff more about that because I think it's a very important question. I think people are really waking up to it more than ever because I think work used to mean something different. And with the age of technology, as cliche as that sounds, but we're living in the age of technology now. Work doesn't mean the same thing that I think it used to for a lot of people. I think we're moving forward in a way where a lot of people have to think very differently about work and how they construct their time. So it's a fascinating thing to explore. And I really wonder how future generations are going to have a work-life balance. What even is work going to be? We're moving forward so quickly now that I really wonder about that. I think vocations in the world of like trade and hands-on stuff, and then certain creative things are going to stay for a while. But with so many things being automated now, things are rushing forward faster than imaginable. Like it's crazy how fast things are moving. And I think people are waking up to realizing that the whole world is shifting and we're going to have to keep up with it. Like that's how species survive extinction, right? They have to adapt, and we're going to have to figure out how to adapt as a species to all of this. It's a weird time. It's an overwhelming, scary time. It's a beautiful time because there's a lot of opportunity, but I think people have to work through a lot of mental blocks to see the opportunities and things and not be daunted by the overall thing. I think what I see that scares me the most about humanity is the level of apathy and disconnect and anger out there, because those are three things that will disempower people faster than anything else, is succumbing to fear, feeling apathetic and numb towards life, and being disconnected. So I think if we can, as a species, figure out how to kind of balance out all of those really draining, and I don't know, like I'm just picturing like that's holding us back from the future growth and the ability to grow as a species and make it and keep ourselves going and not destroy ourselves or unravel. Fascinating. Randy Weaver asks, where's your husband? Does he know you're using the internet? You know, he let me off of the ball and chain just for a couple hours today, and I'm going to use that time to figure out how to use the internet, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to hook myself back up to the kitchen where I make very poorly thought out rushed meals for us. But I'm in the kitchen, which is what matters, right? Kristen Joe Kelly's going, well, watch out. I think we're living in a very important time that will be very defining, but I think that's true for all times, obviously. But right now, I think we're on the precipice of something very important where I'm noticing more and more the difference between people. When people say there's two types of people in this world, I know it's a cliche, but I'm starting to really notice it in very sharp focus now. I'm noticing that the biggest difference that I notice in people is people who take accountability for themselves and what happens to them and their lives and their mindsets and perspectives, and people who don't. And I want to be someone who takes accountability for who I am, how I live, how I feel, what I do, etc. To me, that has been the biggest mind shift that I've had in the last couple years, but especially within the last year or so, it's come into such sharp focus for me. And I realize retrospectively that I was spending a lot of my life and time and energy feeling like life was happening to me, and I didn't have as much control over it as I could have. And I'm realizing now everything that happens to us is a reflection of our mind. Yes, we're all living in one shared reality, but our reality, everyone who's in this chat, all 26 of you, all of us have separate realities that we're interpreting through our own mind. What holds individuals back, what held me back, was not making conscious efforts to view myself as a conscious creator of my own reality, essentially. and feeling held back by things that happened to me, perspectives that I had, ways that I felt, first and foremost, having little to no awareness of my own emotional control, and realizing retrospectively that I didn't have control over my own way of engaging with the world. And I didn't have full emotional control. I'm not just talking about, I realize as a woman saying this, that there are some people that feel like women are more emotional, which I do agree with in a biological sense, that we are more right-brained, so to speak. We're more in our emotions, whether that's socially programmed or biologically programmed. I believe it's a nature and nurture. It's a combination of both, as all things human are. But I mean, essentially, for all humans, we all have a degree of emotional control that we can take that many of us don't. And I was certainly someone who was not taking accountability for my own emotions in life and how I was perceiving things. And I think this comes to a topic that I've wanted to discuss for a long time, which is victim narratives. And I've noticed that distinction between the two types of people is people who view themselves as a victim of their circumstances, of their lives. This happened to me, so I do this. This happened to me, so I think this. This is happening in the world, so I feel this way and I'm upset. This is happening on the news, so I'm angry at these people. It's all a way to essentially just throw your own responsibility to take care of your own life and live your own life for yourself out the window. It's not me, it's the news. It's not me, it's this political party. It's not me, it's this religion that believes something different than my religion. It's not me, it's like, you guys got it. It's a way to basically shirk the responsibility outward. I've talked about a lot of philosophical, psychological, esoteric things on this channel throughout the years because it's important to me, and it's also been a reflection of my own journey. But now I'm finally starting to kind of crystallize it and realize how important it is, for everyone's journey, and how I'm still in this place where I feel sad that people don't know this and people don't realize how much power they actually have. And I just want to remind, even if it's just the 29 people here right now, if it's just you guys here now, I just want to let you know that you guys have more power than you think you do in your own life. It is up to you how you feel. It is up to you how your body feels. It is, and yes, there are always variables. Yes, there are always excuses. There are always reasons. There's always an explanation. There's always a systemic trail that you can trace back through your entire life and your grandmother's life and your ancestors' lives that can give you excuses and reasons not to do the things that you probably should be doing. But that doesn't mean that you don't have control and power in your own life. And I think this is the most important lesson that I've picked up in the last, I mean, obviously, it's interesting. Self-work isn't just, I think a lot of people think, oh, to work on yourself, you need to go to therapy. You need to become self-actualized. You need to meet Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You need to become a monk. There are so many endless ways to get better, in quotes, for anyone listening, not watching visually, get better in quotations in life. But you just need to start. That's all you need to do. You just need to start. You don't need to learn everything. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to do everything. You just need to start and realize that you have control over your mind. And if you have control over your mind, you have control over everything that you do. You might not have control over other people. And that's the thing. You kind of have to relinquish any kind of sense. I think a lot of people that get really hyped up about news, politics, even movies and camps of which movies are better. Like, people get so angry about things. And I think the internet has laid this out so clear. It's not that this is new. It's that these are ancient human things that we've been doing for many millennia. And yet we see it so laid out so plainly on the internet and these echo chambers now. And people don't realize that they're actually enslaving themselves further by subscribing to these beliefs and subscribing to these hard and fast rules of what they think life's meaning is. At the end of the day, we create our own meaning. We make our own meaning and we make our own lives. And so out of those two types of people, it's up to you to choose who you want to be. I'm still on this path, but I know that I'm doing my darndest to be the person who makes my own life and makes my own mind up. And I choose my thoughts. I choose my emotions. As hard as that can be, it's still a work in progress. But instead of feeling like a victim of circumstances, of my own life, of my own emotions, I am choosing what I believe in. Kat says, I would love to ask, what would you say to someone who doesn't know whether they want children or not now that you've become a parent? That is a phenomenal question, Kat. Oh my gosh. I'm going to speak from experience. So this is making me emotional. I wasn't sure. I think on some level, I always knew I wanted to be a mom, but there was always a part of me that was very scared to be a mom because on one side, I thought to myself very kind of almost like, I guess some people would call it selfishly, but I was trying to be pragmatic. I was like, do I have the capacity to be a mom? Do I have the emotional bandwidth, the energy, the time? And then on the other half of it was, am I going to screw my kid up? Is my trauma, my life, my story, my energy, my inability to do certain things, is that going to mess my kid up? Because that was something I always wanted to avoid. And I was thinking to myself, I want to make sure that I give my child the best shot at life so they can be the best person that they can be for themselves, who they truly are. I don't want to hold anyone back. I don't want to hurt anyone. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I always noticed about people was that if their parents, quote unquote, effed them up when they were little, it made their lives that much harder. So if I could be conscious of that, I felt as though I could be a better parent. But that was a fear of mine as well. And it's still a fear of mine. Being a new mom now, it's still a fear of mine. When I was on the fence, I heard enough people say things that made me realize that I could do it. And I think I also chose to listen to people that felt self-empowered to me and not disempowered and disenfranchised. Because if you do start going down the path of looking into parenthood and having a child, there are a lot of negative people that feel as though having a child happened to them instead of it being a conscious act of love and creation. It goes back to what I was saying before about self-empowerment and creating your own life through your own mind and your perspectives. For me, it's been, I wanted this. I knew I wanted to have a child, and I had to believe that I would show up in the best way possible. And now I'm so grateful that I did it, but I definitely had doubts and fears, and I still do. It's still very overwhelming. And I look at my baby and I think she's so pure and so innocent, and she's such a beautiful blank canvas. And I want to make sure that whatever I give her is as open-hearted and connected to life in a beautiful way as possible. You don't want to if your child is a blank canvas, you don't want to scribble all over them in a black Sharpie that they can't get off, right? You want to give them something beautiful and meaningful and give them a sense of empowerment where they can be their own person and create their own reality too. Kat, just speaking as someone who's met you and seen you and seen your energy that you put into a space, I know you would be an amazing parent. If that's something you chose. I've heard throughout the years people say, I don't want to bring a child into this world. This world is such a bad place. I don't want to bring a kid into it. I even said that to my dad once, and he said, Kelly, people were having babies in the Black Plague and they made it through. And great people came out of that time. Great people came out of every era in the darkest of times. And we need good people to have children. We need those good people who want to show up, who want to be good parents, to have children. No one's going to be perfect. At a certain point, it is inevitable that you're going to mess your kid up in one way or another. There's going to be some kind of shortcoming that's going to manifest in one way or another in a child's ether. But that doesn't mean that they can't overcome it. And my parents messed me up in some ways. I still adore them, but they messed me up in some ways. But part of my journey as a person is overcoming those things myself and taking accountability and not blaming them. And I think we live in a time right now where blame is so rampant, blaming other people, blaming sources, blaming information, experiences, news. There's so much blame out there. And I think as long as you are a person who can take a modicum of responsibility for those things and not shirk it, I believe that it's worth it if you want to be a parent. You just have to find a person that you feel is a good fit for you to co-parent with. I think that's important. I do think I can't imagine being a single mom right now. My heart goes out to all single mothers out there because especially with a newborn, I don't know how. I feel like I have to be an octopus now, and I have my husband to help me so much. It's beautiful, but it's so overwhelming. Kat, speaking honestly, I think you would be an amazing parent. So please don't ever don't doubt yourself. And I feel that way for so many people. I think it's if you can get out of your own fears and doubts, that's where the love comes from, and there's no end to it. It's something that I never experienced before. I think I've always been a very loving person. I love animals, I love people, but I've never known a love like having a child before. And I've always loved kids too. Being a teacher, I love kids, and I thought I knew what unconditional love was before, and I did still love them. I loved so many of my students and people in my life, pets, but I never knew what, like, this is on a level I never knew was possible. And it grows exponentially every day, which is just so wild to me. Kat, thank you. I just love your hopeful and grounded outlook on life in spite of the chaos we're living through. Amen. And that's the thing. That is the thing. There is always going to be chaos. And when we really, like, I think a lot of people who love history and that rite of passage, where it's like, I think there's like a quote where it's a rite of passage for every dad to like go through a rabbit hole learning about World War II. And I'm sure that was true for a lot of different times with a lot of different wars. But when you see like the accumulation of all the chaos erupting in a war of any kind, you realize that it's systemic at a certain point. Like it's an Ouroboros feeding into itself, essentially, where we are erupting from chaos, but within that chaos, there are pockets of peace, and there will always be hopeful people. And I think if you can be the hopeful person, you can become an alchemist, essentially. Like, you can actually take what is so dark and dehumanizing, and you can create life out of that. And I think as long as we have that as a human species, and as long as we have people that still hold on to that, we can keep going. I think when the tone shifts to a very just kind of apathetic, numbed out, checked out energy for the broader part of our species, I think that's when we're really in trouble. So keep your heads up, guys, because it's like, it's crunch time. What are we going to do with it? Like, it's easier now than ever to do very little for ourselves. But I think that has dire consequences for not only our own lives, but just people. And yeah, like, this is coming from me, an introvert, who I don't like putting myself out there on a regular basis. I take months or if not years in between videos and streams, but like, I really want to share these things because to me, it's important. And I wish more people shared this stuff. I wish more people talked about these things, because I think it's the only way to really empower ourselves, is to empower our mind and to say, I am going to choose these things. I wasn't just born a positive person. I've been through a lot of darkness in my life, and I see the chaos and I see it for what it is. But it's a conscious choice to find meaning and to find beauty in the darkness, to find the little sprout growing out of the ashes. That's to me, that's the best work we can do. Generation Productions. Okay, well, another Star Wars question. Why did Darth Vader destroy Alderaan? Wouldn't he have destroyed Tatooine instead? Bad memories in the sand. Why did he destroy Tatooine? That is an excellent question. I've never seen that question before. That's actually a perfect question. Yeah, he had a lot of beef with Tatooine. He hated the sand. Bad memories. Like, talk about trauma. Yeah, that's a good one. I know, Alderaan was so beautiful. That's like destroying Naboo. Why would you do that? Don't destroy the pretty planets. Although I am a sucker for Tatooine. I think the twin suns were very beautiful. I would love to see a binary sunset. World of Swap Shop, you nailed it. Yes, this philosophy sounds similar to the fundamentals of the law of attraction, Kelly. What we experience is what we put out from our minds. Our vibration and lens, we see the world through. Totally agree. It's also a lot to do with like mental alchemy, which I love. I love the idea of, even if we're living in a dark, chaotic world, if we allow our minds to be dark and chaotic, we haven't surpassed anything. We're basically just letting ourselves be informed and fed by the darkness and the chaos, instead of rising above that and becoming creators of our own reality, becoming alchemists of our own reality. Oh my gosh, Krista Joe. Honestly, the big decision I made the past couple of years was finding a doctor that listened and cared about me. I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and had a really bad lymphedema in my feet and legs. Krista Joe. I'm really happy that you found a doctor to help you on your journey that listens to you and that you're feeling better. That's beautiful. Good for you. Wow. Because yeah, I hear you. It helped you feel mentally better, because our physical health is so tied into our mental health and spiritual well-being. If we don't feel our best, it's very hard. Like, they both feed into each other. Once again, it's that Ouroboros situation where if our mental health is suffering, our physical health suffers. If our physical health suffers, our mental health suffers. It's an endless cycle. So when we can get ideally both back on track, but if you start raising one, usually the other starts kind of like rising up behind it. So good for you. I'm glad that you did that. Wow. You asked great questions, Kat. I'm glad you asked that question because I mean, I think I need to like flesh that out better, but I know what you mean. Like there's this weird, especially these days, I think we socially, I'm an elder millennial, so I grew up in the 90s and still there were the remnants of social conditioning from past times where it was like, get married, have kids, but I think there's less and less of that now, especially for younger generations, Gen Z and younger, I think are getting less of that conditioning from the media, less of those messages, and it's become much more of an individuated society to where I think there's so much nihilism that exists in all generations, but I think it's been really pounded into the minds of Gen Z. I feel very badly that they're getting those, like they're getting different messaging than we are. Than we were in like elder millennials, Gen X, boomers. There was more of like obviously the whole nuclear family thing was a very prominent message that was given to us, and we don't really have that so much anymore. It's much more about individualism, and in some ways there are healthy elements to that, but there are a lot of unhealthy elements to that because it can really make you doubt your ability to co-create and create life. So life has to be created. It doesn't just come out of a vacuum. And if you're telling an entire generation that having a family isn't important, there's going to be a lot of apathy, dissonance, shame, nihilism. There's more content creators than ever before. There are influencers now. There's celebrity culture is still like just doing its thing, I guess. Like even though celebrity culture is pretty cringy, if you ask me these days, but there's less of a drive to create life in a meaningful way. And I see that now being a parent, like for me, creating life in a meaningful way was so important, and giving my daughter the life that I want her to have for herself is so important. But my biggest worry is like her peers, like what messages are they going to be getting from the media, from their parents? Because we're more plugged in than ever before against our wills. Like it used to be you chose to go on the internet and explore whatever you want to explore. Now we're just being fed information all of the time. And really the only way to disengage is to get off the phone, get off the computer, get off the laptop, get off the platform, and digital minimalism and unplugging and all of that stuff, which I love. But I know it's harder and harder to do because now so much of life has become this automated system of you order things online, you talk to your friends on text. We're living in an increasingly more digitalized world, and things are getting hard. It's harder and harder to get a human on the phone. It's harder and harder to have a physical space where you see other people that aren't on their phones. Like even when I go to a third place that's a gathering place for other human beings, so many of them are disengaged from their actual environment. So it's a disheartening time. And there are a lot of conflicting messages out there. And if you want to have a child, I think the most important thing is that you do it for you and also for the child, of course. But if you're scared to bring a child into this world because of the dissonance and the darkness and the chaos, I believe in empowering yourself enough to believe that you can be a good parent in spite of all of that, or even maybe because of all of that, because you can be someone who chooses what you focus on and you're a conscious parent. You're not just going to let a crazy world raise your children. You're going to be an active participant in that and informing how they feel, whether they feel safe, whether they feel loved, whether they feel engaged with the world, whether they connect with nature and themselves and other people. So we have so much more power than we think we do when it comes to our lives. And I believe also with having children or whatever it is we want to create. And for any of you who don't want children, if you want to create anything in this world, art, music, film, a YouTube channel, writing, a book, anything, if you get in your own head about how the world will receive it or what the world will do with it, then you'll never want to create. I think it's all kind of part of the same puzzle, essentially. Okay, anyway. Sherry says, Bunny, I have 3. No matter what you do, they will grow up and blame you in therapy. LOL. I can see that. I can see that. I was there for a while too. But I would like to think that they'll have a good enough therapist to help them recognize that at a certain point they're responsible for their own lives. Because that's where I'm at now. As much as it's easier to blame other people and to blame our parents and grandparents and whatever it is, it's very disempowering to blame other people for our own plight at a certain point, especially once we reach an age where we're able to have self-awareness and we're able to work on self-development techniques. Like, then at that point you're kind of just stagnating by blaming. I That's the other thing I noticed. Like, therapy speak, the world of psychology got very popular in the past several years. I noticed with the onset of COVID, a lot of people were learning about boundaries, time and energy boundaries, friendships, work balance, work-life balance. And I think with that came this huge influx of almost like influencers that were also mental health influencers, like Healthy Gamer Gigi, I think Dr. K, Dr. Ramani, I think her name is. She specializes in like narcissism and stuff. There were a lot of like very big, oh, Dr. Grande, a lot of very big psychological influencers, so to speak, and which is great on one end, but then I think the tide shifted so far to where we were like, as a society, we were adopting psychology speak, like actual grounded in DSM-5 or whatever, as colloquialisms, and overusing these terms. And everybody started talking about their trauma, their victimhood. It's so interesting how all these things connect, because then, and I fell victim to it, if you want to put it that way, because when all this was happening, I had just lost my mother. I was in terrible grief. And so I was learning a lot about grieving, and then setting boundaries with time and energy, because I didn't have the emotional wherewithal to engage the same way I did socially previous to losing my mom. So it's fascinating that with all of this happening over the last several years, I think it became very cathartic for people to realize, oh my gosh, life is traumatic. These things happen. I've had trauma in my life. My parents did this, or my ex-boyfriend and girlfriend did this, and it was traumatic. People were talking about trauma a lot. It was very seductive, I think, for people to be able to identify something that they felt was holding them back. This is speaking from experience. But at a certain point, they were victimizing themselves, and they were living in that victimhood. And then if you don't take accountability, that's the thing, that if these people haven't been through actual therapy, or with a good therapist, even, because there are plenty of bad therapists out there. Always research your therapist first, because you want to make sure you're with a good one, just like you want to make sure you're going to a good dentist, right? The goal in therapy is to get someone to take accountability so that they can move their life forward in the direction that they want to, and become more empowered, more self-aware, more empowered, not just analysis of paralysis and this happened to me and this happened to me and this is why I'm sad and now I'm just going to be sad on happy pills. Like, that's not the goal of a good therapist, or good therapy, or good even self-therapy, self-work, learning these psychological tools to move ourselves forward. The goal is to move ourselves forward, not to stay stuck in this cloud of negativity and woe is me. And that's back to that distinction I make between the two types of people in this world. There are the people who, and oftentimes these people have had some of the worst things happen to them, but they take the most responsibility for their own life, their own goals, their own dreams, and they make it happen, versus the people who have had maybe, yes, terrible things happen in their lives that have hurt them and they've become traumatized, but they become so crystallized in that trauma that they don't take any responsibility. They complain, they vent, they trauma dump. They might be very smart, very successful, but they're not a joy to be around. They're a black hole. When there's a party, they're like this vortex of darkness that the second they get someone's ear, they just want to talk about everything going wrong in the world. Did you see this? Did you hear that? Did you see what this person did? Did you see what happened in the news today? So I think it's our job as conscious beings to be conscious creators of our own reality. Like, what are we going to do with our reality? How are we going to create our reality? And if you look at people who have been through the worst possible things in this world, they could literally be in solitary confinement and creating a reality in their mind of what they want it to be. And that is the only power that they have. So the same thing applies to all of us who are actually free. Yes, Kat, exactly. Yes. Oh my gosh, the discourse surrounding the choice to have children anymore is almost unbearable online. I agree. That's why I got offline in a lot of ways. When I was first pregnant, I went on Reddit quite a few times to kind of like see about things and see what I was going through. And all I noticed was how negative people could be. And this was like even people who were parents or who were pregnant themselves, and like pregnant women referring to their babies as parasites in their body, and just like the negative framing system that's around being, especially a mom now and being a parent now. It's like, I really noticed the discourse is just very negative and very narcissistic as well. Like there are a lot of very like, it's almost like these, like everything about their kids is somehow about them too. And it's very discouraging online. But I will say, the second I got offline, I felt amazing. My mind was clear. I chose, like, I'm not going to believe this stuff. I would never refer to my baby as a parasite. And it's so funny. One time, my husband and I were driving and we were behind this like really fancy car. It was like a fancy BMW, like a really big fancy BMW. And it had a bumper sticker that said huge financial burden on board. And it had like a little cartoon of a baby. We just looked at each other like, what the hypocrisy? Just the, like, you're calling your child essentially a huge financial burden, and yet you're driving this monstrosity of a shiny BMW. Like, where are your priorities in life, right? So children don't need a lot monetarily speaking. I mean, it's costly to have diapers and wipes and formula if you need it, and some of the gear that you like. A crib is expensive these days, but you can do a lot of things secondhand. Trust me, there are budget ways to do it. But kids don't need as much as people think they do, because as long as they have their basic needs met and they're healthy, and you're tuning to them emotionally and energetically, like that is the number one thing, especially to start, speaking from my experience so far. And I know things will get more complex and more complicated as time goes, but I am really working to stay grounded in the moment and not to get too ahead of myself, because it's survival mode when you're a new parent and you have a baby. But yeah, there's a lot of negative discourse online. People will always find things to be negative about. And that's something I've realized, which is another reason I don't spend a lot of time online, is that for the most part, the negative stuff gets the upvotes, it gets the laughs, it gets the engagement, because fear sells. And that's why the news is popular. And that's why political division is popular. And that's why echo chambers are popular, is because there's always like an extreme thought, an extreme feeling. And those extreme feelings have more weight to them than more balanced, almost like open-hearted thinking, open-minded thinking. And it's funny because it takes more work up front, I think, to be an open-hearted, open-minded person. But then once you're there, you can kind of coast. Like, you don't have to do a lot of work to be an open-minded person once you're there. But I think when people are so crystallized and hard-headed in how they feel and that negativity, it takes a lot of work to get out of that space. Once you're out, it's like you're above the clouds. It's like when you're flying through clouds and all of a sudden you see everything very clearly. Andrew Ward, no, that's my biggest fear. Having kids is the mother taking them from me. Imagine how miserable not seeing them would be. Well, hopefully you're very conscious, like that's the thing, you have control over that too, is being conscious in who you choose as a partner and who we choose as a life partner, and looking out for those. I think it's important to be, I thought that's the other thing, the discourse around male versus female relationships right now is heavy. Oh my gosh, like it's like men versus women out there in the wilds of the internet. I notice it's crazy how divided a lot of the genders are right now. It's very sad, because I think we need such a balance of men and women and masculine, feminine, male, female, to make things work in a literal sense, but also in a very spiritual, figurative sense as well. And things are just so divided right now. But I believe in love, because I saw two parents who deeply loved each other. So it was easy for me to believe in love because I had it modeled for me. But I know a lot of people don't have that, especially products of divorce. I know a lot of people don't believe in love because they saw two parents who didn't feel connected. And I personally feel very grateful and lucky that I had two parents who deeply loved each other until the moment my dad lost my mom. I know he still, like, every time I talk to my dad, we talk about my mom because he misses her so much. They spent 50 years together. It's very easy for me to believe in love, but I think you have to choose to believe in love regardless of what you saw growing up. It is a conscious choice. So I think if you don't believe in love, or if you believe that all women are bad or all men are bad, maybe starting to look for information that doesn't confirm that, looking for real life love stories, because as crazy as it might seem to people who don't believe in them, they're out there. Sometimes just when I go out, when I see a couple together, I just love watching them, especially older couples holding hands. Like I've seen couples in their 70s just holding hands, talking to each other. In the apartment complex I live in, we have couples here. Some of them are in their 20s, some of them are in their 50s, some of them are in their 70s, and some of them are single, not out of choice, but because they lost their partner and they're older. And a lot of those people will tell you love is real. But if you go on the internet, it might be a different story, just because of the discourse that's online right now. So believing in love is the first step. And then I believe in like making almost like a love list for what you want positively out of your partner, instead of, I think people are way too focused on red flags these days, because if you're looking for red flags, you're always going to find them. No human being is going to be perfect at all. Like that's an absurd thought. Like none of us are perfect. So if we think we're going to find the perfect partner when we go out searching for it, we're going to be disillusioned and disappointed within half a day. So looking for things that you do want, qualities that you do want, things that are kind of almost like non-negotiables for you. What can you connect on? They don't have to love everything you love, but can they enjoy being in your presence? Can you share space together? All of those things. And then if you are conscious enough of those things, then you can consciously co-create in a relationship and be on the same page as someone and let love unfold. And then hopefully work through whatever trials and tribulations inevitably come up, because they will inevitably come up, because every relationship has trials and tribulations in every friendships, work relationships, husbands, wives, husbands, children, parents. It's just an inevitable part of our existence because we're complicated and no one is really insusceptible to that. So having that, and then hopefully you get to a place in your life where you realize you have control over yourself, you create your own reality, and your partner has that understanding, and you just continue to co-create together, work through issues. But again, yeah, it comes down to responsibility and choosing what you want and focusing on what you want and going in that direction, rather than hyper focusing on what you don't want, what you're scared of, what you worry about, and then letting your mind decide for you. A, it's not worth it. B, self-sabotaging and never doing anything, or sabotaging everything. Anyway, Kat, yes, getting offline is the solution to everything. It really is. I mean, I can speak from experience because I'm really not online like a lot anymore at all. Most of my time online is just throwing on a YouTube video in the background, just listening to stuff when I can, and making a conscious effort to not engage with anything negative that I perceive as negative anymore, because I'm sure some people's negative is another people's positive. But for me, anything that makes me feel like I have less control, I'm just not engaging with. I'm trying to always engage with things that give me meaning, that give me purpose, that make me feel good, that make me feel confident, that make me feel capable. Things that inspire me, motivate, and maybe help me clear my head, feel grounded, learn something new. That's the kind of stuff that I like engaging with. Things like Instagram, I think it just forces people to compare themselves. Things like TikTok, I think in a lot of ways, I see the people I know that use it seem like they're kind of numbing themselves unless they're learning. And if you're learning on there actively, that's great. I think YouTube for me is like the last vestige of hope when it comes to social media, because I do still find people out there that are creating things from a place of inspiration, art, beauty, meaning. And because the nature of it is more long form, I think it allows people to get deeper into discussions and explorations of things that just have more meaning inevitably than the very kind of like shallow or angry discourse. I mean, there's a lot of, I guess you could call it deeper discourse on places like Reddit, maybe Twitter. I don't know. I've never really been on Twitter at all, so I don't know. But it seems like there's just so much vitriol, hate, anger. I just stay off of anything like that. I use Reddit occasionally as a search engine, essentially, to where if I'm looking for some kind of crowdsourced information, I want to understand something better or from a different angle, sometimes I'll like go into Google and search whatever the topic is, Reddit, and see what people are saying about it on Reddit. Sometimes I use ChatGPT to ask certain questions about stuff to kind of crowdsource or source from the internet what the average of people's thoughts are, and that's helpful. But I think reframing technology, platforms, social media as what can it do for you? Like that's how I feel. Like what can it do for me to help me be my best self? That's how I engage with it, as a tool. And if I'm not engaging with it as a tool, I try to like put it away, put the phone down, walk away, go into another room, go for a walk, get outside, do something different, talk to someone that I want to talk to, connect with an actual human being, like get off the if I feel like it's not serving a purpose, it's not serving me, it's making me feel worse, I just disengage. I know a lot of people think this is crazy, but I don't engage with the news. I don't watch the news if something's happening locally that I need to know about, or globally if it's a huge thing like a World War III just started. Obviously, I will engage with that to the extent that it helps me prepare myself. If it's not preparing me and it's just taking up space in my head, I find it to be a cognitive load. It's not helping. It's not something I want to engage with. That's me. I know not everybody feels that way. I know a lot of people feel more informed when they watch and engage with the news and current events, and I understand that. And I majored in journalism and communication, so I get it. But at the same time, just remember it's a business, and the more fear and the more clicks and the more engagement that these news conglomerates and journalists get, the more money they get from you, the consumer. And I just don't like being a consumer of those things. So that's that. I obviously don't know you guys personally for the most part. I've met some of you guys here personally, but having seen your faces and names over the years, engaged with you in one way or another, I do care about, I want to say most of the people that I've engaged with on this YouTube platform. I feel like I have this meaningful connection to an extent, some more than others. Some I know, some of you I know, I feel like I know and understand better than others. But I do care. I feel like I care about humanity in general, but then focus that in on the people that I've connected with here as well. And I want you all to feel your own sense of purpose and connection. And I know that this world can be a very overwhelming, disheartening place. The one thing I implore you for is that you not allow it to beat you down. You not allow it to create apathy in you or a sense of disconnect or giving up. This is going to be a weird pep talk, but I really feel like you can all be who you need to be for yourselves. And I really hope that you do. You make that choice. You make that conscious choice in your life to be who you need to be. I don't know the next time I'm going to stream. I don't know the next video I'm going to make, but I wanted to come on here today to connect in one way or another and to share things. And as awkward and shy as I really am, I do feel like I want to share that message with you guys, all 21 of you that are still here. Thank you for being here. Nova's in the back, by the way. I just realized that she's back there. But yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. I know I haven't been consistent, which is like the death of a YouTuber, is to be inconsistent. And I haven't been a crowd pleaser all the time, most of the time. And I haven't been probably who I need to be successful on this platform. But if there's one thing I can say, it's that I've always wanted to be myself. And I've always wanted to genuinely connect with the people that show up here, with you guys. So thank you for showing up. I appreciate you. And I do hope that you all continue to take care of yourselves in whatever way that means for you. Yeah, I just want to get that message out. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. If there are any more questions, feel free to ask. Krista Joe, oh, that's really sweet. Thank you. I'm so thankful whenever you stream or make a video. It's been a breath of fresh air connecting with you and everyone here. That's really sweet. Thank you, Krista Joe. Wow, that's really sweet, Krista. Thank you. That means a lot. I still get very insecure. That's I can be very forthright about that. I get very insecure putting myself out here on YouTube, on live streams, on videos, whenever I do anything here. It's scary. It's overwhelming for me. You guys are very grounding to talk to when you show up. So thank you for that. Thank you for making me feel like you're actually there and listening and caring and agreeing on certain things, disagreeing on certain things, but just knowing that you guys are actually interested in this stuff. I like talking about life stuff, humanity, philosophy, personal psychology. It's what we have right now. There's going to be a time when none of us are here anymore. But I like to think that we each live our lives in a way that moves the needle forward in a good way for humanity. Even in the small ways. At least it was a little bit good while we had it. While we had that. Charlie Stevenson, I can tell that your being a mother has changed your life's focus. Congratulations again. Thank you, Charlie. That's really sweet. It has changed my life's focus 100%. I don't even feel fully human yet. It's been a wild ride. Pregnancy was a lot. It was fun. I really enjoyed it, but it definitely shifted my mental scope a lot. But I really enjoyed it. I felt actually very relaxed and peaceful the whole time I was pregnant. But then birth itself was, Oh my gosh, like a complete dimension shift. I did not feel human. I felt like I was on a completely different in a completely different world. But I was so grateful to the medical team and the people, the nurses, the doctors, everyone who helped me through it. It was what would be constituted as a challenging birth, but I feel very positively about it because I got my beautiful baby out of it. So I'm very happy about that, and I choose to focus on that part of it. Stunt brat. Sherry asks what my husband does. He's in the music industry. He kind of works between music and radio stuff. It's kind of hard to describe, but that's what I would call it. He loves music. He loves music. He actually started a YouTube channel not too long ago because he wanted to talk about guitar and stuff. I think it's called Coffee Fox. He has some videos on guitar, and like he reviewed a Jazz Master or something. Like he's just starting out, but he just wants to have fun with it and enjoy it, kind of the way I do, where it's not about being a brand or a influencer of any sort, just kind of just connecting and putting our thoughts and hobbies and interests out there. Ryan Dyer says, I'm one of his favorite YouTubers. Thank you, Ryan. That means a lot. That's really special to hear. Thank you. I love you too, Sherry. You guys are awesome. Yes, Krista Joe. Do and share what you love. Yeah. Again, so I know some people dropped links. We dropped some links for people on the channel tonight. I want to encourage you all to keep going. Keep doing what you're doing, whatever it is that you love, create for yourself, and then the people will come. You guys right here are proof of that. We may not be many, but we're here and we're talking. We had some pretty cool talks tonight and pretty meaningful conversations. So keep doing what you love, keep doing what you enjoy, be yourself, be authentic. And even if you end up making tons of money as a YouTuber or a TikToker or I don't know, whatever you do, try to find ways to stay grounded in yourself. Because if there's one thing I've noticed in even the most successful people in the world that become famous celebrities and stuff, so many of them are miserable people because they didn't stay authentic to themselves. So all the money in the world is not going to help you if you aren't connected to a strong sense of self and a sense of empowerment from within. There's one thing, I mean, I don't really pay too much attention to like celebrity tabloids and stuff, but I do find it kind of fascinating because it's a perfect exemplar of how all the success and the money in the world cannot make people happy. So when you see like celebrity downfalls and cringe moments, it's just a reminder that even these humans who have risen to astronomical heights in terms of fame and fortune, they still have these huge stumbling blocks, especially when you have ego involved and hubris and all of these human frailties that inevitably exist. So it's important to stay grounded. Let's just leave it there. It's important to stay grounded, I think. And money is wonderful because it can be a tool. It's such a powerful tool for more freedom, financial freedom, time, energy. You can delegate things better, and that's wonderful. Pay for your home, pay for your food, get your needs met, help other people, you can start an animal sanctuary with money. A lot of celebrities do that. I have a lot of respect for celebrities who start animal sanctuaries and things like that, but it can also just be an extension of people's void that they feel within. And that's when I think it gets really tricky. So keep going though, guys. Do your thing. Whatever you were passionate about, keep doing it. Don't lose sight of it because these are dehumanizing times. I understand that. It is chaotic. It is crazy. We hear terrible things every day if we choose to log into watching the news, listening to the news, reading the news. So try to pay attention to the things that actually help you. It's amazing what shifting your focus can do for you. It's beautiful. It will free you. Learning where to put your focus will free you if you put it in the right places. Yeah. Oh, you guys are interested in his YouTube channel. Yes, my husband started a YouTube channel. He hasn't uploaded a lot. It's called Coffee Fox. And he's like let me see if I can pull it up here. He talks about like music. He does jujitsu too. He's talked about jujitsu a few times. It's like just stuff that he's interested in. This is his channel, Coffee Fox. So he did like a cover of Falling from Twin Peaks of David Lynch. He does a lot of music stuff. He loves music. He loves playing guitar, so he does that. He talked about jujitsu a few times. He's a deep thinker too. So if you guys like me talking about those kinds of more cerebral topics, he likes talking about that stuff too. But he's very easygoing, very sweet, very positive. Aw, Star Wars Retold. Thank you. You really have the mindset of a true Jedi, Kelly. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Maybe I'll stay Jedi Bunny for a while longer. I was thinking of changing it to Enigma Bunny since I just pop in and out of existence and no one ever really knows what's happening with me. That's my Instagram handle, I think, is Enigma Bunny. I'm not on there anymore, but that's what it was, at least. Krista Joe. Oh my God, that's so cute. There's a former football player that quit playing to start a farm and he loves it. That's beautiful. See, I love that kind of stuff. That's really cool. I would love, that was always my dream since I was little, would be to have some kind of like animal rehabilitation center for all different types because I love all types of animals. And ever since I was little, I've hurt, injured animal, or even insect. I always do everything I can in my power to either help them or bring them to someone who knows how to help them. I've spent a lot of time and energy trying to nurse injured animals back to health, and I've helped a lot of them, and some of them don't make it, but it's beautiful. So that's the one thing, if I ever have the time and the energy and the money, I would love to, because it takes a lot to hire people that for round the clock care for baby animals and stuff. I would love to do that and take care of animals and do something for them because I'm just a sucker for animals and nature. Oh, found it in sub. Well, thank you, Andrew Word. No, that's really sweet. Yeah, he's really, I hope he makes more. I really like, I mean, I don't really know anything, excuse me, about guitar, but I love music and I find his videos really interesting and soothing to watch. So I mean, maybe I'm biased, but I put them on in the background, just like listening to him riff about music and jujitsu, which I don't do either, but it's very cool stuff. Ryan says, one of the things in common between YouTube and TikTok, they both have community creators build to create an atmosphere of lifting each other up. That's beautiful. I didn't know that about TikTok, actually. I didn't know you could do that. That's nice. See, TikTok just scares me too much. I let it scare me. TikTok freaks me out because I've just heard so many bad things about it, or that it's super addictive. So I try to like not go on there because I don't want to just like start watching it and then never stop, because I worry about that. Because I love it. I love the format of video. I just love having a video, listening to it on in the background, hearing people going down rabbit holes and learning about weird things that I never learned about before. So I fear that if I got on TikTok and started watching it, I would just never stop and I'd go down, just crazy rabbit holes watching it all day. So part of it is not that I think it's terrible. It's that it's probably like designed too efficiently to the point where it would hook someone like me. So, but that's really cool that they have communities on there like that. Oh, Soul Assassin, I found his channel. Seems like a cool guy. He is. I'm biased, but he is. But I'm not biased because I've known him a long time. He's a great guy. Oh, TVZTQ, thank you. I will always be Jedi Bunny. I feel like Enigma Jedi Buddy is too long. I can't do that. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Thank you, Krista. That's so sweet. Wow, that's exciting. That's it, Krista. Good job. Krista, you're dropping links left and right today. You just dropped a link for the first time today, and now you're like a pro. Thank you, Krista. Ryan Dyer, there's a content creator I follow. He wants to make a bunny rabbit sanctuary. Oh my gosh, I just realized I really have to pee, so I can't stay too much longer. I've drank this whole thing was full when I started this stream, guys. So cheers, and like I gotta wrap this up soon because I'm gonna pee my pants. Okay. That's so cute. I love bunnies so much. They're so cute. Nova has a channel. I made that a long time ago. I haven't uploaded on that one either, but Nova has her own channel. I think it's Nova the Tortie. This has been amazing. If you have any more really good questions and I see them before I leave, I'll try to answer them, but I really should prioritize my bladder right now. So I'm glad you guys showed up. Thank you so much for those of you who did show up today. I've missed you. I don't know when I'll do this again, but hopefully it'll be sooner than later. Feel free to watch this on the rerun, and is that what watch this on the rerun? I don't even know what that means, but feel free to like leave me a comment if you weren't able to. Oh, and that's the other thing. Like if I don't get back to your comment, don't feel bad because my brain is so scattered right now. That analogy I gave about puzzle pieces before, where your life is like a puzzle when you have a baby and then like all the pieces are everywhere. Like that is definitely how I feel about YouTube right now. Tom are like, oh, that's a puzzle piece I'm not even ready to put back in yet. I don't even know where I am or who I am or what I'm doing anymore. So if you leave a comment, I'll probably read it. I always try to read my comments when they come in, but I might not be able to respond to it. Just time, energy. What is that? I don't know. So but thank you guys so much for being here. I miss you. And I'm just happy to see you guys. You guys are awesome. Oh, okay. I'm going to get going, guys. Okay. Thank you for being here. And remember to take charge of your own life because no one else can do it for you. Take care of yourself. Try to take care of your body. I know it's not always easy, but it's worth it because if you take care of your body, it will take care of you. And if you take care of your mind, it will take care of you and your body. So like, keep doing that. Okay, guys. Okay. I'm going to go. Oh, wait, hang on.
Oh my goodness. Well, hello, everybody. It's been a while. This is Nova speaking. There is a small tradition on this channel for me to sing a little song. Does anybody have any song suggestions? I would love to hear a song suggestion if anybody has one. And maybe if I know the song, I can sing it for you. Please, I'm waiting. My mommy has to pee, and she really has to pee. So please, give a song suggestion. I'm waiting. I'm going to sing a song for you against your will if you don't give me a good song suggestion. Ryan, I do not know that whole song, so I cannot sing it. Hang on. I don't know the Baby Shark song either. Something else, please. Okay. Oh, wait. Hang on. Hang on. Okay. I like that idea. Charlie Stevenson. Okay. Here we go. Just a moment. I'm refreshing my memory. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Excuse me, sorry, it's been a while. I'm a little bit rusty. Here we go. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I wish upon a star, and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops. Yummy! Way above the chimney tops, that's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Oh, I want to go catch the bluebirds. Oh, I'm a little bit distracted. Birds fly over the rainbow, why then I can't I? Thank you, everybody, so much for coming to the stream. I'm sorry that my voice was a little bit rusty, but I'm going to continue working on it. I love you. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your bodies. I love you so much. You have the power. Bye.